As we head into this 4th of July celebration, there's a teenager from Arlington who's in the midst of a patriotic battle that has landed him and his school district in the national spotlight. Arlington High School student Sean Harrington says that his request is a very simple one. He wants the Pledge of Allegiance to be part of the daily morning announcements at his school. Sean is here with us this morning to talk a little bit more about his request. Great to see you.
Great to see you, too. I'm glad to be here this morning. It's been a fun 2 days.
I guess you probably didn't anticipate what was about to happen,
I never did.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't. Well, let's talk a little bit about why you're so passionate about the Pledge of Allegiance being said.
Well, I've had a relative in almost every major war since the founding of this country, minus the Spanish-American War. My 2 great uncles fought in Korea and Vietnam. Patriotism is a very big part of who I am, and it pushes me in almost everything I do. So it just seemed a no-brainer to me to fight for the Pledge of Allegiance.
So what exactly, and I stated before, but I want to hear it stated from you, what would you like to see the school do?
I would like to have every school in Arlington High establish the voluntary recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance on the PA system. So far, 4 schools in Arlington do not do that.
Okay. And how many schools are there? Are you saying that some schools do?
Some schools do.
Okay.
To my knowledge, my high school does not. 3 of the elementary schools do not. The middle school does, and the other elementary schools in town. There are 7 elementary schools all total. So the 4 other elementary schools, to my knowledge, do say the pledge.
Okay, so in other words, the school board, if I hear you correctly here, it's not that they have banned the Pledge of Allegiance, it's just that they are not saying you have to do it at the school.
A little bit of yes and no. I mean, the students that want to say the pledge at Arlington High have some sort of a fear of peer pressure to not say it, by themselves in the morning in the main lobby. They would rather have it on the PA system. And some kids in the elementary schools I've talked to don't even know what the Pledge of Allegiance is. So if you want to, they do not ban the Pledge of Allegiance, but it is somewhat of a non-mandated ban to some extent.
So the principal has said at your school that he would be willing to gather everyone up and do it in the morning as a voluntary kind of thing, but that's not good enough for you.
No, it's not. He gave that proposition to me my first year of high school, and that's the reason I started this petition, because I didn't think that was a good enough proposition. It wasn't then, and it isn't now. There's going to be no consistency with this. I mean, it's a very big building, and students have homerooms all over the building. And my thing to Mr. Skidmore, my principal, is if he's willing to lead the voluntary recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance 5 minutes before school, why is he not willing to do it during on the PA system on the morning announcements? More students would be willing to say the pledge, and it would basically be tied in with the morning announcements that happen already on a daily basis.
Now, why are you being told that they don't want to do that?
What the school committee told me was that they were afraid certain teachers would not want to say the Pledge of Allegiance, or they wouldn't want to force it. No one is going to be forced to say the pledge. According to federal law, you cannot force anyone to say the pledge, which is correct. You shouldn't be able to force anyone to say the pledge.
And you don't want anybody to be forced, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
This is a total voluntary issue. But I just don't understand why teachers wouldn't let their students say it. I think that teachers would let their students say it. They would administer it. They wouldn't have to say it. I think that's the issue that they are not realizing.
Now, you've gone out and gotten a petition of 700 signatures in favor of this idea. You presented it to the school board and to the principal. School board voted on what was already their policy, essentially, whether they would get rid of it or not, and that being that it's not said on the PA system, or not required to be said, and they were tied. So in the end, they decided they would stay with their current policy, which is that it essentially is up to your principal, I guess, to make the decision as to whether he wants it on the morning announcements or not. Do you think this will go further? Will you see this through?
I will definitely see this through. As Teddy Roosevelt said, if I have to choose the path between peace and righteousness, I choose righteousness. Their current policy, I don't think, is actually good enough, the school committees. If 4 schools in Arlington do not say the pledge that we know of, how many more schools don't? I think then it's up to the school committee to do something about this. According to Massachusetts general law, it has that the school must have the daily recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance in the group recitation forum. The schools are not doing this, and by the school committee not allowing this, from what I've heard from many people and what I believe, is that they're violating their oath of office. And if they continue to do this, maybe they should resign. I don't know. I think they need to. The whole nation is watching this right now.
Absolutely.
And I think they need to stand up to the plate and do the right thing.
Well, it is my understanding they have said they are going to review the policy, and they will revisit this again before the summer is out and before you guys go back to school in the fall. Sean, best of luck.
Thanks.
You've taken on quite a topic here, and we'll be interested to watch it through and see how it all ends up. Thank you for coming in to see us.
It was my pleasure, Kim.
Thank you.